I'm Millie Weaver, and you're watching the InfoWars Nightly News. Well, many people would have you believe that the Russians played a significant role in undermining the outcome of the 2016 presidential election. They want you to believe that Hillary Clinton would have won had it not been for Russian interference with the election process. Well, first they tried to say that the Russians outright sabotaged the election, which had many people believing that they actually messed with the election numbers, the actual results in the voting booth. Now there's claims that the Russians played a role in undermining the election by making WikiLeaks. I mean, they think that the DNC leaks were done by the Russians. Well, regardless of whether or not the Russians actually did do the DNC leaks, I took the liberty of putting together a timeline of events during the entire election year of 2016 and when things really started heating up in the summer. So I plotted out this timeline here with the polls of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump at the time. Now, these are the polls that we've seen on, New York Times. So I went ahead and plotted this timeline out and wanted to actually see with actual data, statistics, numbers, dates, did the DNC leaks play a crucial role in the outcome of the presidential election? Well, according to these polling numbers, no, they didn't. And what was actually pretty interesting is to see what did play a major significant role in Hillary Clinton's poll drops during the election cycle. One of these was the biggest poll drop. It was when Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton met together in a private plane prior to the decision of whether or not Hillary Clinton was going to have official charges against her. And then the FBI ended their probe on Hillary subsequently on July 5th, which was only a couple days after their meeting on June 27th. So actually, this showed a rather large dip in the polls. I mean, if you could see right here in the background, this major dip right here that happened, this was a result of the Loretta Lynch meeting and the dropping of the probe. And many Americans felt like it was completely unethical and that it showed that there was corruption and collusion going on, that Hillary Clinton's husband could meet with Loretta Lynch and then they would not go forward with crimes against her. So this actually caused the largest dip here. Now, right here, we see the DNC leaks. Okay. And look here. This is Hillary Clinton's right here. This is the result of the DNC leaks. So in actuality, when the DNC leaks happened, she wasn't even affected. According to these polls, she was not affected at all by the DNC when this first happened, the DNC leaks. This happened on what? July 22nd. Okay. And then subsequently, the DNC chair resigned here. And then here we see, emails which showed that Hillary Clinton, had conflicts of interest within the State Department and the Clinton Foundation. I mean, still, we would think that this had a bigger, dip in her polls or that it actually affected. But in reality, here's the truth. A lot of this information was shared mostly on the internet. A lot of internet news media sites got this information out there. But here's the reality, folks. Most voters out there don't watch the news on the internet. A lot of people actually do watch the news via the mainstream television, cable television, or the newspaper, or they don't even watch the news and they just vote based on their political party affiliation. So then we see another dip here where she actually was affected. You can see that it goes and dips down here again. Okay. And right before this dip, you can see that there's, when it's coming down off the thing, the Wiener sexting scandal on August 18th, it was announced that Wiener could be facing criminal charges for sexting with a 15-year-old girl. Now, this actually was a huge scandal, and it was on cable television news, and there was a big, it was a big scandal that happened. And you can see that numbers were affected accordingly. I mean, you can see an actual dip here after that. And then you can see on August 29th, Huma separates from Anthony Weiner, which is at like the bottom of that dip right there. Then you see a kind of a slow rise, but it's still pretty low for her with the coughing spell and then the fainting spell subsequently after, I mean, days after. And so you see dips right there. But after that, I mean, really and truly, it's a pretty steady uphill, like just kind of pace for her on the polling charts right there. So those were the major dips in her polls. So according to, you know, all these people, the FBI trying to say that Russians hacking the DNC emails and leaking them out played a major role in undermining the election. It's just simply not true, because even if, you know, even if we operate under the thought, okay, so let's say the Russians did do it. Let's see what effect it actually had. Well, when we look at the poll numbers, it doesn't actually play a role in affecting her polling numbers at all whatsoever. Now, do I necessarily believe 100% in these polls? Obviously not. I'm just pointing out to you guys that their polls don't show any effect at all whatsoever. So they can't try to claim that these DNC leaks played a major role in undermining the election, when in actuality, when you look at the numbers, they did not play a huge role. And then we also see another dip here. What's actually pretty interesting is how Trump is affected in October. You can actually see a pretty big dip during the October surprise time period. We see a lot of stuff happening. I mean, we see the Trump audio leaks happen. We see, you know, Hillary Clinton's emails, you know, with her conflicts on Wall Street come out. That happened on the same exact day. In actuality, when you see this leak that happened with Trump compared to the leaks, the DNC leaks from Wall Street that happened on the exact same day, what you see is that Trump actually is hurt from it. He has a major dip here. Hillary Clinton, not so much. She seems to be unaffected by the email leaks. So it just goes to show that saying that she actually was affected, it's not really quite true, because you can see that she was not affected according to this polling data right here. And then we actually see Trump have a big comeback here. He comes right back up on October 19th when he wins the debate. The final presidential debate, Trump wins and his numbers come right back up. And next thing you know, it even shows here when the FBI reopened the Clinton probe on October 28th, that all it did was actually, it kind of slightly helped Trump when the FBI reopened their Clinton probe, but it actually didn't even hurt Hillary Clinton, according to this polling data. It just shows that she kind of steadily continued on at the same pace as the election came to a close, whereas Trump actually seemed to benefit from Comey reopening the case, the Clinton probe case, on October 29th. And what's really interesting here is that the FBI Director Comey is trying to say that the Russians affected Hillary Clinton's presidential outcome, when in actuality, you actually see more of a bump up in polling numbers for Donald Trump when Comey reopened his case against Hillary Clinton. When you look at the numbers, you played a bigger role in influencing the election than these said Russian influencers. Actually, even before that, Donna Brazile was caught giving Hillary Clinton questions on October 31st. And guess what? That was another email leak. And when you look for her polls right here, you look at Hillary Clinton's polls, nothing. It doesn't even affect her at all whatsoever. So this closes it, folks. The data's here, the timeline's here, the polling numbers are here. No Russian influence on the election outcome, according to their polls. There you have it, folks. This is Millie Weaver for the InfoWars Nightly News.
Talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Deeply, I think, racist.
I just got called racist by MSNBC.
I don't want that man to have a gun.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
The Alex Jones Show. Watch the free stream live at Infowars.com/show.